And Daryl Mitchell truly finished that off in style. 100 coming up for Daryl Mitchell. Last match as well, 84. So he's in some sublime form, but when it comes to the Indian attack, the bowlers were ineffective with the ball. I think a bad toss to lose here. New Zealand read the conditions very, very well, were effective with the bat. Of course, Daryl Mitchell taking the game away from India. But I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me for the show is Bharat Ramraj and Debashish Sen. Bharat, where do you think India went wrong? Obviously, Kuldeep Yadav not as effective. Plus, the dew was coming into play. But if you had to pinpoint on a certain on a few factors, what do you think went wrong for India? Do you think India did not have enough runs on the scoreboard to begin with?
I don't think India could have done much better than 284 in those conditions, because definitely in the first innings the ball was uh, the stopping a little bit. There was a little bit of nip up front for the New Zealand seamers. I don't think the conditions were that easy for batting. When India batted, it definitely got better. You could see even in terms of evidence. They see the super hopper coming out twice to mop out the dew. That generally happens when they want to minimize the dew. That's one factor, obviously, but there are other things as well. First of all, let me start with India's fielding. India's fielding is, I don't want to use a bad word in on a public platform, but it is basically very poor. Leave alone drop catches, easily singles are converted into twos. That is disheartening for any bowler when singles are converted so easily into twos. Even at the end of the innings, it was happening out there. There were misfields as well. So that was about fielding. When it comes to bowling, I think you have to think about India's two spinners. Ravindra Jadeja did try to slow up his pace. If you look at it from 94 kilometers per hour, he was trying to slow it up to 82 kilometers per hour. Not something that he has done for a long time, but it basically was left arm slow. I'm just saying it as it is. It was, there was no real dip. There was no revs on the ball. It was just left arm slow. That's what he basically bowled today, and he was treated in the way he should be. His bowling should be. And something similar happened with Kuldeep Yadav. Yes, he imparted a little more revs on the ball because he's a wrist spinner. But even in the South Africa India Test series, a finger spinner like Simon Harmer came out to India and outbowled Kuldeep Yadav in terms of imparting revs on the ball, in terms of getting the dip. If finger spinner is doing it to you, then that means there are some alarm bells for Kuldeep Yadav as well. And that is something that we saw today. I think the seamers bowled reasonably well considering the conditions, because there was dew coming into play. I think they were reasonably good, those three seamers, but the spinners were very ineffective. Having said that, dew also played a part, and India's fielding also was quite poor. But finally, I also have to give credit to Daryl Mitchell. I think he's someone who has maximized his potential. Like anything, he understands where to hit those shots, where to play, because he's playing mostly with the turn. He's looking to play into the downtown territories. He's playing the sweep shot based on the line. I think in terms of maximizing his strengths, Daryl Mitchell might get 9 out of 10 marks the way he has played in the last some years.
Devashish, when you look at it, one of the reasons why the spinners were not as effective was because of Daryl Mitchell's batting. You look at the kind of shot selections that he was using today, the kind of variety that he had in his shots, stepping out and attacking Jadeja, stepping out and attacking Kuldeep. He was completely thinking 2 steps ahead of the bowler. If you look at some of the overs of Kuldeep Yadav as well that Daryl Mitchell was facing, you saw that once he would step out, once he would reverse sweep, once he would scoop, and he was reading Kuldeep Yadav very, very well. So apart from the fact that the surface wasn't gripping as much as it was in the first innings, and we saw the Kiwi spinners getting good perches out of the wicket, Daryl Mitchell absolutely nullified the effect of spin here.
But I would just like to reiterate the fact that Kuldeep erred in his lane. Means he was tad too short.
100%.
And batters had plenty of time to play the cut shots, and they had plenty of time, and definitely it was one off day for Kuldeep, means going for almost 82 runs of his 10 overs. That is not what is expected of a Kuldeep Yadav. Yes, Daryl Mitchell did play well, and you should also give credit to New Zealand. Means apart from that power play, Means when Will Young was batting, he at the start he looked a bit scratchy, and it was Daryl Mitchell who gave him that confidence from the other end, and it was means scintillating knock from Daryl Mitchell. I was there in Dharamsala for the World Cup match. He scored 100. He scored 100 in Mumbai. But every time he scored up 80 odd in one of the matches in, I think, in Dubai. But every time he ended up losing for the Black Caps. So this was the first time, and it could actually, I mean, it feels so good for to see New Zealand winning. I mean, they are one of the good teams, I would say. Yes, and the competitiveness coming to India with so many main players out, and then to be leveling the series means obviously no team has chased successfully in Rajkot, and New Zealand happened to be that only team now to have chased successfully, and to no one would have given New Zealand any chance at the start of the series with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma in such a form against the series in South Africa, and then to come out here and leveling the series before the third ODI in Indore. I think that says a lot about this in New Zealand side. And kudos to the entire team, especially Michael Bracewell. He led the side very well. Himself bowled well, took a brilliant catch of Jadeja, and the new bowlers. I think it's overall New Zealand, and despite the failure of Devon Conway, I think New Zealand has definitely done. It should have been immensely proud with their performance.
Bharat, also when we seamers versus the spinners, the Indian bowlers I'm talking about, Harshit Rana started off well. Prasidh Krishna started off well, was economical in that first spell of his. I think 4 overs, some was bowling with some 4 or 5 economy, so that was good from Prasidh Krishna. But again, I reiterate the point that the way that Daryl Mitchell was playing, maybe that's the reason why Kuldeep Yadav could not get his length right, was because wherever he was bowling, Daryl Mitchell was sort of two steps ahead of Kuldeep Yadav. What are your thoughts on that, Bharat?
Yeah, I think I just explained. See, Daryl Mitchell played really well. See, he's someone who maximizes his strengths well. He's someone who uses his reach well. He's someone who doesn't play against the turn much. There could be some Harry Brook or someone else who looks to play a lot more against the turn. But Daryl Mitchell is someone who plays with the turn. He's very much a risk-free cricketer. That is why he scores a lot of runs in down the ground, and he sweeps based on the line. So he just goes as per textbook when it comes to playing spin. So he's always good against Kuldeep Yadav. Having said that, the same point, I go back to the same point. Even in the Gawati test in the recent past, Kuldeep Yadav has not been imparting enough reps on the ball. It feels as if he's bowling left arm slow out there. That's what happened when he bowled to Marco Jensen. He just kept thrashing him because he was just giving some air. Bowling it slower through the air doesn't mean that you are imparting enough reps on the ball, or you're getting that little bit of dip on the batsman. That is not something that Kuldeep Yadav has been doing in the last some matches. Maybe it's a case of him playing too much of limited overs cricket. Sometimes when you end up playing enough of limited overs cricket, you tend to lose that little bit of reps on the ball, or that dip on the ball. So maybe that has happened to Kuldeep Yadav. I don't know, but it's definitely not at his best. And the same thing can be said about Ravindra Jadeja. He's just, yes, he tried to slow it up today. To his credit, he was trying to slow it up. He was not bowling all the time at 94 kilometers per hour. He was trying to slow it up to 80 to 83 kilometers per hour as well. But even when he did that, he was just bowling left arm slow. So it's not like that's not going to really threaten test class or international class batters. So Indian spinners have to look at where they are going wrong, because Varun Chakravarti is not going to play for you every single time, because the Indian selectors are definitely, what can I say, cautious about his fitness. They don't want him to get unfit just before the T20 World Cup. So these two spinners have to look into what exactly is going wrong for them, because one is bowling left arm slow, the other one currently I think is bowling left arm wrist spin slow.
All right. There's a super chat here. Proshanjit is asking, 284 is not a big score in modern day. Jadeja kicked out immediately. Such a below average ODI player. His 2009 innings in Lords against England remind me. But Debashish, your thoughts on Jadeja? A lot of questions being asked of Jadeja. Do you still think that he is an important cog in the wheel?
Uh, there will be questions asked. There will be questions asked about Jadeja. Means he also missed a very close. I mean, it's clear run out. Means of Daryl Mitchell. It was, yes. He had all the three stumps and yet he missed. I mean, that is not what is expected of Ravindra Jadeja. He is your gun fielder. So, and also when it comes to bowling, also he is not that wicket taking bowler which he used to be, giving those breakthroughs, and when it comes to batting as well. Means, so all in all, I think it's time for the team management to look beyond Jadeja and perhaps try Akshar Patel, because he is one bowler in white ball format. I think he is much better equipped than Ravindra Jadeja. Yes, and not undermining Jadeja, the contribution he has done for India, but I think it is time now to look beyond Jadeja, perhaps try an Akshar Patel. And one more thing I would like to raise before we shift the topic. I think, what was the point of playing a Nitish Kumar Reddy? I just asked the selectors or the team manager, what was the point of him playing if he is not right, if he is not bowled more than 2 overs? It means and that is, I think Shubman Gill, when you are picking him, you should try him. You should try him and give him more opportunity to bowl. Means you cannot develop an all-rounder if you are not giving an opportunity. You just keep him in the side so as to keep him in the side. It's not doing any good for the Indian team, neither for Nitish Kumar Reddy. So I think that is one more thing that Indian team management needs to ask, is to or perhaps getting someone who can contribute. Clearly, you don't expect your frontline pacers to do the job with their ball. Yes, but at the same time, one bowler can go, can be can go for runs, as was the case with Kuldeep Yadav. But I think today was a perfect example to get in Nitish Kumar Reddy, try a few more overs from him. I don't know why, but I think if you are playing him as an all-rounder, then you need to give him more opportunities.
I'll just add a point to it. See, I don't agree with that point that 284 was not a good enough score. If the conditions had remained the same, it could have been a good enough score because there was definitely enough variable bounce when India batted. It was not so easy. If you look at the scorecard, then it feels like either of those flat pitches, but it was definitely not a flat pitch when India batted. As New Zealand, both the captains said, even Gill said, I think, that he wanted to a ball first because everyone knew that looking at the little bit of indentations, small cracks, that the ball would do a little bit upfront. Unfortunately, the Duke came into play, so that is something that one has to consider.
Sogata is asking awful field placement from Captain Y. Prasidh Krishna at long on in place of Virat or Shreyas. Jadeja as a fielder and bowler is well beyond his prime, and Kuldeep is absolutely clueless. Debashish, a word on the field placements, because I think that's where India was erring a little bit, especially
But
with Kuldeep
that was
and
a
the.
pretty simple catch, I think. That international fielder, international player, you need to catch 9 out of 10 times. That was pretty straightforward. So I think fielding has got a lot to be, and it has happened so in South Africa series as well. I don't know, but these players did practice a lot when it comes to catching speed and close catching or high catches. They practice a lot, but despite that, they drop too many catches, too many chances for an international team. So I think had that catch been taken, then things might have changed. But I think overall fielding standard, I think we need to look at. Means obviously batting wise, yes, there will be times when your top batters will not score much, but fielding is something that you can improve upon with practice. I think. Does it mean that Indian team does not practice more often? Is it only that they practice batting and bowling? And obviously, when I have seen them putting in a lot of effort when it comes to fielding, but I think that has been a major weak link when it comes to fielding. Gargi.
Can I just add a point to it? See,
Yeah.
I think, I don't want to take any names, X or Y, but India have too many average fielders. When you have too many average fielders, it is very difficult to hide X or Y or Z because there are way too many average fielders out there in the current Indian team to hide them. Even if you take up the names, Prasidh, Harshit, Rohit Sharma is not exactly gun fielder either. Even a few other names, maybe only Shai Sair, Virat Kohli, a couple of them were really good fielders. Shubman Gill is just about decent. And that leaves Ravindra Jadeja, who doesn't look like the fielder that he used to be. So I think there are too many average fielders in that Indian team.
Valid take. There is another question by Saugata here. If Prasidh Krishna is there in the scheme of things for the 50 overs World Cup in South Africa in 2027, then we are in fool's paradise, and at the same time we are ignoring Mohammad Shami like he's no one. Debashish, let's not even go till I'll twist this question a little bit. Let's not even go till Mohammad Shami. Arshdeep Singh sitting on the bench. Debashish, your thoughts?
I think, I mean, the only reason I see is that maybe the T20 World Cup coming up, and also the T20 series, the 5-match T20 series. But first, you need to ensure that you win the series, you seal the series. You already lost the Test series. You were whitewashed against New Zealand. You don't want to lose the one-day series as well. I think that has made the team management to go in with the winning combination. But I would have loved to see Arshdeep Singh in the playing 11, given the variety he brings into the table. Means, but let's be honest. Yes, you played with the three best options you have. When you are resting Arshdeep, there are no other options as well. So you have Prasidh Krishna, Harshit Rana, and Mohammad Siraj. Who are the options? Only Arshdeep Singh, who is rested because of the T20 series. But Mohammad Shami, I don't know. Maybe we are selectors have gone beyond Mohammad Shami, but definitely he has proved it time and again. And in particularly the World Cup, if you look back at 2023 World Cup, I think people might say, you are looking too far beyond. But it is the same Mohammad Shami when New Zealand were dominating. He single-handedly won you the matches in both the matches against New Zealand. So yes, it was a clear case. And India had moments. But they messed it up. So I think the onus will be on the entire team to bounce back and win the series, because the primary objective will be to win the series against New Zealand.
I will say something more to this. Just
Yes.
add to it. If you're going to go after Prasidh, then you have to go after Harshit Rana as well, because both of them have exactly the same economy rate. One has an economy rate of 6.05 in one-day cricket. Other one has an economy rate of 6.06 in one-day cricket. So both have exactly same economy rates. I think both have similar problems in the sense that both are genuine wicket takers. One has a strike rate of 25. The other one has a strike rate of 26. One has an average of 27, the other one has an average of 25. So both are genuine wicket takers, but the problem with them is sometimes they can leak a lot of runs. Something similar with Harshit Rana, and I think that's the case with Prasidh as well. Although I think today you can't really blame the three seamers. They bowled reasonably well considering the due around. If you are going to blame someone today, then I think those two spinners were very ineffective.
Also, the question that I was going to ask you, Bharat, was, and final couple of questions in the show. If you are resting Arshdeep Singh, why have him in the squad?
I'm not I am not part of the management to answer this question. What exactly they're doing behind
No,
the
but what is
scenes?
your reasoning
Yeah,
if you think about it?
if you really want to bring even more, even in this, if you really want to bring logic here is maybe they thought that Prasidh got 4 wickets in the final ODI against South Africa, and they thought that they don't want to drop someone with 4 wickets in one of those games, the last game. And with Siraj coming in, they thought that maybe experienced seamer should take up the role of spearheading the attack, and that is how they went about it. The other way to look at it is, as I noted, you like it or not, the Indian management seems to be hell bent on having this tall hit the deck pacers. It might be, I'm not saying this is the right way to go about it, but they're definitely looking at this tall hit the deck pacers right through the setup, because Gurjampreet Singh and Gurnur Barar are also getting chances for India A, and they had hardly played domestic games when they got the chances to play for India A. So that tells you the road that they are taking. Maybe it's a wrong road. So that's the logic I would maybe try to give, considering the South African conditions, they think that they need this kind of tall, hit the pitch kind of bowlers.
And final question over to you, Debashish. Um, Web Taragi here is saying sometimes you have to give it to your opponent. Young and Mitchell both are class acts, masters of playing spin. Will Young is a legend in the making. Even in the home whitewash series, he showed class.
Yeah, absolutely. But Vaibhav is spot on because he played a huge part in New Zealand winning that Test series as well. And today also, when two quick wickets were down, it was the partnership of Will Young and Daryl Mitchell that bailed New Zealand out. So and we must also, I think we have just need to touch the point about KL Rahul's batting order. Once again, it is proven that he needs to bat at number 5. There's no denying the fact that KL Rahul is your go-to number 5 player. There cannot be no other debate. Means anyone can have any debate, any reasoning. But for me, I think KL Rahul should bat at number 5. That's a plain simple fact that KL Rahul, your top 5 batters should be Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, and KL Rahul. No one else. And he has proved it once again with his batting. And it, I think that after today's knock, the team management will not make him a sacrificial goat and rather experiment with his batting order. Please don't experiment with his batting order because he is too good a batter. And the way he batted today, once again, he showed his class. So it's better to stick with KL Rahul at number 5 and then try and experiment with whoever you want. But your top 5 needs to be fixed as far as 50 overs is concerned.
Can I just a small thing about Will Leng? See,
Yep.
I don't. He's a good player. Let me tell it here. He's a good player, but he's 34 years old and averages 31 in Test cricket and 35 in One-Day cricket. So let us not say he's a legend in the making. I think he's more of an India specialist for some reason. Whenever he plays the Indian team, he seems to lift his game. Let it be in that 2024 Test series, or for the matter in this One-Day series, because as soon as he played that India series. New Zealand had to play England and he flopped there and he has continued to flop. But for some reason, whenever he plays the Indian team, Will Leng is always there. Just like, of course, Kyle Jamieson is a much better cricketer than Will Leng, but both of them always seem to do much better when they're playing against the Indian team.
All right, then. On that note, we'll take your leave. Thank you so much, Bharat and Debashish, for joining and for giving us your insights. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, for interacting with us, for sending in your questions and comments. We'll be back very soon. Don't forget to join us then. At 12 p.m. tomorrow, Rohit goes live from Bulavayo. Me and Rohit will have a chat. Looking forward to India's curtain raiser against USA in the Under 19 World Cup. So don't forget to join us then. Thank you so much. Have a good night.